Welcome everybody to the latest episode of KapVista Klips. Today we have Anja from HappyBond and Fernando.
Hello.
Fernando, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
Good.
How are you?
So today we want to find out about HappyBond. We want to find out the story, how you ended up in the pet world, and what your mission is. So if you want to start, tell us the story on HappyBond.
Okay, well, it all started with my first bulldog, Tony. He loved to skateboard. He was actually a really lazy bulldog. He hated to walk, but his passion was skateboarding. And that's one of my missions, to find the passion for each pet, because they're not all into chasing a ball or bringing back a stick or running. Some of them are a little different. Fernando loves to surf, but Tony was a passionate skateboarder, and he got arthritis in his shoulder, and the vet said no more skateboarding, which was really tough, because that was his only movement and passion he had in life, except food. So my background is in biotech engineering. And at the time, I worked in cartilage tissue engineering, developing test systems out of stem cells to avoid animal testing for rheumatoid arthritis. So we actually built cartilage in the lab, and that was the same as helping Tony. So I mixed a supplement for him based on that research, and it brought him back within a week. Wow. And that was the point when I was surprised myself how great it worked. We tested it on humans. It's human grade. We tried it ourselves. It had the same effect. And I realized what a big pain point that is for pet parents, the mobility issue that they all face at the end, mostly in senior years, but some breeds earlier than others. And it's heartbreaking, because the bond between you and your pet, if you cannot do things together anymore due to that limited movement, it just doesn't bring you the bond that you normally have and experience. So when I saw that happening, I decided to make it available for all pets. We filed a patent. We got an EU license, and we got the patent granted a month ago, actually, after 2 years. It took a while, but now we have it. And that was our first SKU to start HappyBond and my entry into the pet industry.
Wow, that's an incredible story. I mean, it's always good for having a driver, and pets make the best drivers. They're part of our family. So that's how you found yourself in the pet and FMCG industry. Give us where do you think this is going? The trends. Obviously you saw a need in the market based on your own experiences, but is there trends that are driving this?
Yeah, for sure. So I already had a startup in the consumer space and spirits on the human side. But for me, it was always seeing that our pets are family, as you mentioned. So we want to treat them the best way possible. And if you look at the pet industry, there are no regulations. Marketing claims are all over the place. Nobody regulates them. And pet food and the quality of the nutrition is really the worst. That if you dive into that, you don't want to know more. It's really, really bad.
So true. Yeah.
And that's what I saw, and thought that the human space is kind of the same. We started realizing maybe 10 years ago what the industry has been doing, what they're giving us, what they're feeding us, which is really bad. And the trends go into more healthy, more conscious, more real food. For us, preventative health, wellness, and not just waiting until we're sick and go to the doctor and use Western medicine, much more holistic. And that is the same in the pet space. We want to keep those guys healthy. The short lifespan they have, at least they should extend their health span. And that was HappyBond's mission and whole, is not just looking at, oh, they get a supplement. It's the whole health. It's not just giving them the right food. It's making sure they moved right and their mental health is right. So all these together bring this dog or the pets into their best health state. And that's how we can extend the health span for them. And it's the same trends as we see. And HappyBond just wants to stand for exactly that, really transparency, science-based. I develop all our formulas myself, and they're all unique, proven and tested on humans, because I believe if we can eat it, they can eat it.
Yep. Awesome. So tell us more about HappyBond. Who's the team behind it? How did it come together? You've told us about the problem and the solution that you're solving, but tell us more about the products as well.
Mm-hmm. So our team is on an executive level pretty limited. It's me as a CEO and chief scientist, Fernando as chief tasting officer, very important partner.
Very important.
We have a COO who's full-time with us, Sean Hunt, who's actually Australian. He comes from the consumer branding from athletic gear and ran operations for 30 million here in the US. And he's all about making sure that all the operations behind the scene are working, our wholesalers, orders. There's so much behind a company like that I have him as my right hand everywhere. We do have a CMO that is also an investor that comes from data and from Havas Media. But we have an incredible team of advisors also on the marketing side that are very creative and helped us with the branding, in really formulating our mission and vision of a HappyBond. We have business development in-house and customer care, and we did move our fulfillment home during COVID just to ensure that we have the best and cleanest way to get the product to our customers. So it's growing slowly. We just hired a salesperson as well that is joining the team next month. So we more and more growing into a bigger team. And then, of course, on the side, we have contractors for marketing. We have an agency. We have a designer on hand. So all these lawyers and what a company needs to grow.
Awesome. So tell us more about the industry. Tell us more about the clients and partners. And then, it'd be great to hear what sort of milestones you've hit so far.
Mm-hmm. I think I will start with our products, how it all started and where we're at now. So in terms of the industry, we started, as I said, with that one SKU, which is a collagen-based patented formula that we started to just have for senior dogs. Mm-hmm. But last year, we realized so many puppies got adopted from millennials and they were young and they want to prevent because they understand that by themselves, how important it is to prevent. So we launched a puppy and an adult version of the collagen supplement. To start them early to build, maintain, and restore their joints and muscles the right way. It's actually also really boosting the immune system. So we call it super supplement because it's everything. That was our first line last year. Then we partnered with Halle. Her company is Respin. It's a wellness brand. I met her and her dogs are really important to her, their family members. And she wants to apply that wellness into the pet industry. So we developed 3 elixir. They are like boosters. So you drop them over the food to enhance their digestive health, their skin and coat, or their immune system. And they're all natural, human grade as well. So that was one collaboration that we actually launched 2 months ago, but we found her last year to work together. And then we added treats because we also think that dogs need to get some treats sometimes, but they should be healthy. So ours are just freeze-dried protein. Nothing else. It's 100% salmon, rabbit, or chicken. They're also human grade, so you can just put some water and eat them yourself. If you wanted to. So
put some in your pocket.
Exactly. But that was the first idea for us, was just to have customers to add something to the supplement they bought, because it's a subscription model. And everyone buys treats for their pets, whether for training or just to do something good once in a while. So that was actually a big success because they're very rare to be that clean. So those we launched last year as well. And now this year, we just got out another supplement with beef liver, our collagen, that we added 10% beef liver, not flavored. It's pure powdered beef liver for the picky eaters, and also gives a lot of more vitamins and supplements to the puppy. And we just signed a deal with Ziggy Marley for a grooming line that is extremely clean, environmentally friendly, and
awesome.
it's better than a baby shampoo for dogs. So that will launch before the holidays. And our biggest excitement for moving into this whole health of a pet is, of course, the dog food section, because dogs have to eat every day and they should eat something really good. And we saw the pet industry, kibble being the worst you can feed your dog, but then moving into fresh food, which there's a lot of development going on with raw food, fresh food, cooked food. The main issue with that is that it's always have to be refrigerated or frozen, and it's not very convenient to pet parents. So we found an old technology to make it shelf stable for a year without preservatives and using a very sustainable packaging, a glass jar, that we are putting a recycling system in place next year. So that is our biggest innovation this time now, because that's going to change a lot for pet parents. And moving forward, that is going to, and I explain more about that whole idea of where we're moving into with all these products. But first of all, now we're excited to even launch that, and we will only launch it this year to our subscribers to get the best market fit and feedback from them first.
Perfect. Awesome.
That's awesome. I think it's really exciting. Just the whole evolution of the pet health space in general is just so different than what it used to be. Can you tell us a little bit, how it might have, the pet health space would have been 5 years ago, as opposed to maybe the next 5 years? What excites you about that?
Yeah, I think the last 5 years ago, people would have just bought what they had in the store. There were like 20 different kibbles that then, unfortunately, people don't know that there were only 4 players on the market that launched all these brands. They were not single brands. So that is kind of the difference to the human space, because they're 20 years ahead of us. They had those big players, and then all the startups and smaller ones came and established themselves. And that's kind of the same what happens in the pet industry. So we looked at 4 players that dominated the market. People listened to their veterinarians that actually most of the time learned programs that were sponsored from these big players. So it was all tied together, and the pet parents had really no chance to get better information, and the marketing and claims, they can do whatever they want. There's no regulations. FDA cannot really do anything. They cannot enforce to take a product off the market. So I think what we saw 5 years ago, that our pets got older, they lived longer because we adapted them into the family. They were not living in the garden anymore that it used to be. They got into the house. They sleep in the bed. They kind of nearly sitting at the table. So it's changed, and we extended their lifespan. But for all the nutrition and how we treated them, we didn't extend their health span. So we actually dealt with much more disease. Like a lot of people say they got so much more cancer because they live longer. And now we have to take care of them, because at that time, they normally wouldn't have developed cancer if they didn't live 3 more years. So I think that's the change we're seeing now. And if you ask me what happens in 5 years, we will apply a lot of the research and what we now know from the human side into the pet space. We're already working with a company that has an early canine cancer detection test on DNA basis, where we can show that our food can reverse that when it's not too far. And you can keep your dog healthy and monitor that on a cellular level much easier. And I think in 5 years, people will understand that it's a whole package. It's not just give them whatever food they have and they will survive. It's a lot of maintenance, and they need to get the best nutrition to get their body functioning the right way.
Absolutely. Yep. Understandable. So let's dive into a little bit about the raise. How much are you raising? What are the funds going to be used for?
So we are in the middle of our seed round. We already raised 1 million. We want to raise another 500,000, where we have some soft circle committed. We will use that to really boost the food production and the marketing around that, and to build our customized nutrition model. Because if you ask pet parents what they're missing on the market, is a company where they can go to and there's a whole plan for their pet. It's not just food or
Right.
supplements or movement or behavior. It's something that if you sign up for the whole HappyBond experience, next year we want to be ready that we can give them the food, the right supplements, the boosters, and the exercise and mental
Nice.
health plan, and then have a quarterly call with someone that would actually help them and see where they're at.
So very
So-
bio-individualized. That's awesome. I haven't seen something like that yet. That'll be amazing.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
sorry.
given this space, I think that's crucial. As you said,
Right.
you know, pet owners are pets are becoming a lot more involved in the family. They are, they're sitting at the dinner table, they're on the beds, they're on the lounges, they're part of your life. They're a key part of the family. So
Mhm.
as this is the markets are changing, they're adapting to it. So I think what you're offering is very valuable.
Right.
Thank you. Yeah, I do think we also on HappyBond already starting with some fun stuff like bonding experiences, like a pet travel to Paris, because many people, they don't have kids, they have a dog, and maybe they
Right.
want to travel with their partner.
Right.
So we actually partnered with a travel agency from London, and that's available on the website already, that you can travel with your pet to Paris with a partner massage, with dinner together. It sounds silly, but
Oh, that's amazing.
I think it's a lot of fun.
I love that. I know so many people who would be so excited about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's the whole approach of a lot of partnerships. We really like that. We partnered with a designer as well for making travel blankets that are out of reusable denim. So they're recycled. They're one of a kind. And it's just like all practical things that you need in your dog life. And we want with HappyBond, we make it happen because of really great partnerships without having all that production on our hands. So, and also dogstrology. That was one of our most popular launches, which probably confuses some people, but I have an astrologist in London that is a bestseller author, and she created dogstrology for us, and it's fitting perfectly. Every dog I tried it so far on, it's just right on. So you can at least
that's a whole nother episode. We got to go into that. That's so intriguing.
So as you see, we try to offer a lot of content to our
Mhm.
customers, and with the health span knowledge, we put a lot of effort into that as on the homepage as well, which then will be used later on for our customized packages.
Wow.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, I mean, given the focus is on dogs now, are you expanding to other pets?
We are looking into cats. Our treats and supplements are already okay for cats as well. The dog food line will be extended into cat, but first one market. And we also have 2 formulations for the equestrian market.
Nice.
That we're looking into as well. I'm a dressage rider, so I always had horses, and it's a little passion project. And I developed those way back due to my dressage horses having issues with their joints and didn't build enough muscles. So those 2 products are also in our drawers to develop one day and extend to those animals as well.
All right. Awesome. That's incredible, because more and more people in this pet space, obviously dogs and cats are the first focus, but then beyond that, there's people who have a lot of other animals as part of their family.
True.
So it's a massive market, and you're just scratching the surface at the moment. Awesome.
That's true.
So
yeah, we also expanding internationally. So maybe that's another point to mention. We're already selling in Singapore, going into Japan. Just got our first order from Malaysia, and selling in Germany as well. So we're expanding to Europe.
That's a great.
And Australia is a next market we're tackling as well.
So is this all from your website? It's delivered from the US, or are you setting up operations or shipping hubs from other parts of the world?
So we have another shipping hub in Germany. I have a small operational team that ships straight from there. And it's all wholesale to the distributors. So they take care of all the distribution in the countries. For China, we will probably ship out of Germany just because it's easier with all the trade agreements. It really depends on where and in which country. The dog food will be first just produced in the US, but we might move that into Europe as well to have more flexibility with shipping.
Okay, awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah. So there's, is there anything else that you think would be valuable to add in terms of the future of the business and what you're doing? It might give our audience a better insight into what you're doing and to see if it's a fit for them.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about investors, and I think they get a lot of more credibility if we have a really big investor that is coming from the pet food space that only invests into pet food startups. And they thought that this new pet food is such a novelty. They invested $500,000 in the round and will follow up. And they also extended our team with 4 people that are working with us on the dog food to find the right manufacturer. And we actually partnered with the university to establish the IP and then file a patent as well for this specific way we're producing it. So I think that gives more confidence that we not just having angels, we have a couple of other funds as well that will follow up in the A round, which we're looking to do next year, just to really boost the dog food and that whole idea of customization.
Okay, that's awesome. So, I mean, thanks for jumping on with us. It's been great to chat. I know from my own personal experiences that you know, I've got a couple of dogs, and you know, my mother-in-law has a couple of dogs. My sister-in-law has a couple of dogs, and between us, we spend a lot of money on our pets because they are part of our family. So we are always on the hunt for the best possible products, or how we can, you know, make them feel better, how we can, you know, make them happy. So, you know, I'm excited about the space. I'm excited when you're available in Australia, and I think many other people are like me as well. So, you know, thanks for giving us an insight into HappyBond and what you're doing, and we're excited to hear more.
Thank you.
Anybody who's watching this video and you know, listening to this, if they want to know more, we'll share our details. If you want to connect with Anja, please reach out to either Julia or myself, and we can make a connection for you. But thanks for jumping on. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing more soon.
Thank you so much for having me. And
Thank you,
any questions, throw them my way.
No problem.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.